What's up, everybody? I'm here with another video, and this time we're going to talk about the degree and leading coefficient of a given polynomial. Okay? So let's get an example going. So let's say I have the following polynomial: minus 3x to the fourth power. The degree of the polynomial is going to be the 4 because it is the highest degree that I have. Right now we only have a monomial, so obviously it's going to be the only one we have, but it coincidentally is also the highest. So in this case, the degree is 4. So it's a degree 4 polynomial, just like that. Now the leading coefficient is the number that is right here next to the variable with the polynomial. In this case, it's -3. So the leading coefficient is -3. Okay? Let's do another example with more terms so we can see if we're understanding this. So number one is very easy because it's a monomial. But what if I have something like this? 7 minus 2x squared. What's the degree of this polynomial and what's the leading coefficient? You might be tempted to say that the leading coefficient is 7 because it's in the front. But in order to get the leading coefficient and the degree of the polynomial, you have to order these from increasing degree to decreasing degree. So let's rewrite this polynomial. The highest degree I have is going to be 2 right there, because this one doesn't have a degree. It has no term. Well, that's incorrect to say. It actually does have a degree. Let me show you why. So 7 is the same thing as 7x to the 0th degree minus 2x squared, or 2x to the power of 2, right? Now we can see that the degree on the 7 is 0. But why is 7 equal to 7x to the 0th power? Well, the reason is because when any number is raised to the 0, that's equal to 1. But x can't be 0, right? The variable. So right here we can see, well, if x to the 0 is equal to 1, well, then that means this is just 7 equals 7 times 1, which is just 7 equals 7. So this statement is true, right? So now, let's reorganize though. Let's keep going. Let me put them in increasing degree. So x squared is the highest degree we have, but the coefficient next to it is a -2. So we're going to put -2 out in front like here. And then this 7 right here, this 7, is it positive or negative? It's a positive 7, right? Remember, we don't write the plus symbol when we have a positive number. So let's keep going. Plus 7 x to the 0. But like I said, x to the 0 is just the same thing as 1. So now we can answer this question. What's the degree of this polynomial? The degree is 2. And the LC, which I'm going to make, which this means leading coefficient, is -2. Let's do another example. Number 3. Let's say we have this one right here. This is a tough one. -2x squared minus 3x to the 5th power plus x minus 6. We can see that, oh, by the way, when you have x, that's just x to the 1st power. So that's a degree 1. All right, when x is by itself, it's a degree 1. We just don't write it because, well, there's only one x. So let's rewrite this bad boy. First, let me find the highest degree I have. I have a 5 right there. That's the highest degree I have, so I'm going to write 5 first. So this is equal to minus 3x to the 5th. I keep everything that is next to the x to the 5th power. I keep it all. All right? If it's a plus, it's a plus. But because it's a minus right here, look, if this were a plus, this would be a plus. But because it's a minus, the minus follows it. Okay? You have to keep it. Keep that in mind. So we have minus 3x to the 5th power. What's next? All right. This is what I like to do. Once I write it, I get rid of it. All right, what's next? Oh, I have this one right here. All right, so let's use it. Again, it's a minus 2. So minus 2x to the 2nd power. So we're done with that one now. Right here, we can start seeing what's next. Plus x minus 6. All right, and we're done rewriting it. Now, what's the degree on this polynomial? The degree is 5. All right, and the leading coefficient is negative 3. So far, so good, everybody? In order to find the degree, you have to organize them, okay? So let's keep going now. Let me give myself some room. This next example is a little toughy, but we got this. All right, example 4 now. By the way, I'm trying this new format with a black background and bright colors. If you guys like it better than white, like a normal whiteboard, let me know. But I think I'm digging the black background. But I'm going to leave it up to the viewers. So you guys tell me. All right, I have the following polynomial. X times 4 minus x squared. The quantity 4 minus x squared times the quantity 2x plus 1. Notice that this polynomial is, it's like you're multiplying a bunch of them together. So before I even try tackling the degree, I have to expand this bad boy. So I'm going to give myself some room so I can expand it. All right, here we go. Let me expand this. So I'm going to use the FOIL method. All right, I'm going to use the FOIL method to expand this. FOIL. First, outer, inner, and last. FOIL. So F first. So I'm going to ignore this X for now. All right. Just for now, I'm going to leave it off to the side. So let's focus on this and this. Because I can multiply in any order I want because multiplication is commutative. So first, this is first and this is first. So first, what's 4 times 2x? That is 8x. Okay? So that's done with first. Now we do the outer terms, so it's the 4 and the plus 1. So what's 4 times 1? 4. So far we have 8x plus 4. Now we do inner right here. These are the inner ones. Well, minus x squared times 2x, while minus times a positive, a negative times a positive is a negative. So I'm going to have negative something. Negative x squared times 2x is negative 2x to the 3rd power. And now we do the last ones. Last. So what's negative x squared times 1? Well, that's just negative x squared. Like that. Cool. Keep in mind we still have this x outside, okay? So now I'm going to distribute the x into everything. Let's pick yellow. I'm going to distribute the x into everything inside right here. So now what's 8 times 8x? Well, that's just 8x squared. What's x times 4? That's plus 4x. And what's x times minus 2x cubed? Well, that's minus 2x to the 4th. And then the last one is x times negative x squared. Well, that's just negative x to the 3rd power right there. All right, we have successfully written our polynomial. So now let's rearrange the terms so that they're in increasing order. The highest degree I see is a fourth degree, so I'm going to rewrite this as minus 2x to the fourth. The next degree I see is the, let me get out of here. The next degree I see is third degree right here. So minus x cubed, so we're done with that. The next one I see is, oh, a second degree, 8x squared, and then whatever's left over, plus 4x. So from here we can now see what our degree is. So this is a degree 4, a fourth degree polynomial, and our leading coefficient is negative 2. Remember, the leading coefficient is always the one that is next to the highest degree. All right. Let's do another example. This is the last example I have for you guys. Hopefully this is getting a little bit clear. But let me know in the comments if you guys need me to go over it again. I'll be more than happy to do so. And I promise to keep up with posts a little more frequently. Life gets in the way. Number 5, we have the x squared times the quantity. Inside the quantity I have 2x minus 3, and this quantity happens to be squared. Oh boy. Once you get good at this, you can actually spot what the degree is just by looking at it. Right now, honestly, by looking at it, my suspicion is that it's a degree 4. But I've been doing this for a while, guys, so don't feel bad if you can't spot it right away. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to rewrite this in such a way that it's expanded. So 2x minus 3, because it's squared, I'm multiplying it again by itself. There we go. I'm going to move it up so I can have room fully right here. All right. Now I'm going to use FOIL to expand these binomials right here. So 2x times 2x, that's 4x squared. I'm going to put it all in parentheses because all of this is still being multiplied by x squared. All right, cool. I'm done with the first term. Outer, first outer. Outer is 2x times negative 3. That's minus 6x. Inner. Inner is negative 3 times 2x. Again, that's another minus 6x. And last is minus 3 times minus 3. Negative times a negative is a positive, and 3 times 3 is 9. Cool. I have now successfully expanded that squared binomial. Now, I have to distribute the x squared into everything, all right? So multiply it into everything. So the first one is going to be x squared times 4x squared. That's 4x to the fourth. Next, we have minus 6x. X squared times x is 3x. X to the third power. Minus x squared minus 6x. Again, we get another minus 6 cubed. And the last one will be plus 9x squared. We can further reduce this by combining the middle terms. Because we have a x squared here and an x squared here, we can combine them together. So my final polynomial is going to be 4x to the fourth power. Negative 6 minus negative 6 is negative 12. Negative 12 what? X cubed. Plus 9x squared. And from here we can see that our degree is 4. We have a degree 4 polynomial, and our leading coefficient is also 4. And there you have it, guys. So pro tip, remember, expand if you have to, but never forget to organize them in order. You have to put them in order. Otherwise, you will get the answer incorrect. Look at this number 4 example. If we didn't put them in order, I could have said that it was degree 2 and leading coefficient 8, and that is very different from the actual answer. So always put them in order, and then from there, you can get the degree and the leading coefficient. Let me know if this is clear for you guys, if you want me to do more examples, and also let me know if you guys like the black background. I'm a fan of it, but I'm doing this for you guys. So if you guys prefer the white background, let me know. But catch you on the next one. Peace, guys.